It was exactly 3 years ago tomorrow that the nation of Haiti was smashed by a catastrophic earthquake. The only full-time American correspondent who was in the country when it hit was Associated Press reporter Jonathan Katz, whose new book is The Big Truck That Went By: How the World Came to Save Haiti and Left Behind a Disaster. Jonathan is with me in the studio, along with Jean Pierre-Louis, the founder and executive director of CapraCare, a Haitian charity. And joining us from Port-au-Prince is Oxfam's country director, Damien Berendorf, and Oxfam's urban coordinator, a non-profit, do.
We focus on promoting health within the community and also schools, providing access to medical care, psychological first aid, and basic counseling, as well as a lot of prevention health education. So that's the primary focus.
And were you working in that field prior to the earthquake?
Oh yeah, we were founded in April 2009. All our services are being rendered by locals in the community that we have been training for the past 4 years to provide services. Now, of course, you can imagine we were less than a year old before all the this disaster happened. So, pretty much we were the first one to actually respond to that community, providing psychological first aid to the families that was living in Port-au-Prince when they returned from the disaster.
That must have been a huge sudden pivot for such a new organization to suddenly have to change from looking at long-term stuff to grappling with this catastrophe that just happened. How did you manage that?
Well, what it was, we were already planning to be in Haiti 1 month prior to the earthquake. So immediately when that happened, what we had to do was shift our focus from providing training in public health to putting together a mental health team immediately to render psychological first aid. Now, of course, our program is in Fonfouet, which is a rural area of about 20,000 in population, 30 minutes away from the main city, which is Okai or Lekai. What we did was we brought our team straight to Fonfouet and provided psychological first aid. So that we focused immediately on that kind of prevention because there was a significant amount of family members who were living in Port-au-Prince who then were returning back from the disaster. Prior to the Haiti earthquake, the focus was never about providing Haiti with the tools and the resources that it needs to be able to have success in the long term. So as you guys know, it's not about, Haiti has always been given the handout, but not the actual equipment. So most of the programs that was built were always in the capital, which was one of the reasons why CapraCare did not implement its program in Port-au-Prince. We went to the rural area. Now it's being more popular that, its services being rendered to the outside part of the country and rural areas. But also because Haiti had a reputation, or the government had a reputation that, it did not manage funds correctly. Most of any money that came to Haiti did not go to the government. And for any country to have success, its government must have a role, it must play a role in it. Even right now, if you look at the statistics that's being provided with the money is going in Haiti, the government of Haiti is not getting a significant portion of the money. And so when the money comes to Haiti, Haitians are not the ones spending the money. Much of the money the aids that are given to Haiti, that funds already spent in the U.S. and not in Haiti. So you have people who are not receiving, families who are not receiving that kind of money. And if they don't have access to money, how can they buy resources? Right. So I think all those things are things that, in the long term that needs to be addressed. Part of it as well is that you have a smaller organization that are created by Haitian like CapraCare, not receiving any, not receiving a significant amount of that money to be able to put it to good use within the community. CapraCare right now is based on volunteerism by 25 members of the community. If CapraCare was supposed to was receiving funding, whether from, let's say, the United States or funders or foundations, we would have a much greater impact within where we at because that's 25 families immediately that you'd be impacting. That's 25 jobs that you immediately put in that community. So organizations like Haitian organizations are not getting their fair share. The government are not getting their fair share. So you have other organizations that are doing great work in Haiti, but they're not using Haitian to even staff their own program. Much of the rebuilding process, one second, much of the rebuilding process does not involve Haitian on the round table. So all those things need to be addressed. So, to say there hasn't been much progress made, yes, it's going to take a while. But you will not see progress in Haiti 3 years later. It's not going to happen. You're going to see progress in Haiti 15 years from now, 20 years from now, because the people are hungry now. They need food now. So these are the things that needs to be addressed, the immediate basic needs. So once those basic needs start to be met, then you will actually see some progress. But for those progress have to be made, the infrastructure of Haiti has to be built, and the Haitian government, whether you want to trust them or not want to trust them, you have to involve them in the training. It has been a big key component. Everything starts with education. But I also believe that as you train folks, you must give them the tools to have success. If you're going to train them about, developing outcome measures, they have to have access to computers. They have to have access to the internet. They have access to, their basic resources to make an office works. Our staff has been getting training for the past 4 years. So they have the key knowledge. But our organization is having a tough time even receiving funding because of all the red tapes that are put in place when it comes for us to receive funding. Why?
Who's putting those red tapes in place?
Well, you have I like to think about our program as we are small, but we are the underdog. And if you don't have the right connections in Haiti to receive funding, to receive resources, they go back to that stigma where they don't know what they're doing, and they don't have enough education, they don't have enough training. We have 25 volunteers in CapraCare. 18 of them already graduate university level. None of them have ever had a job. Any one of them who are working or either doing tutoring at the public schools around the community just to make a living. Some of them are even using their own livestock to live. Now, would you say that they're not capable of doing the work? Well, they are educated. But if you have, let's say, if you have a student that's learning about science but never really have any of the microscopes or any experiments or dissect a frog, then how can they actually be successful? So those are some of the things that we have to look at as well.
What would you have us do? What would you have if you could wave a magic wand and have the West behave in whatever way you want? What would it be?
For who?
For Haiti.
For Haiti, give them the tools, give them clean water. Give them access to computer. Give them access to real energy. Give them access to 24-hour electricity. You can't do anything without having electricity in Haiti. It's a challenge for us, for organizations just to have basic internet access. It takes over a few months just to have them to come outside and give us that kind of resource. Give us a real budget and say, okay, these are what we can do together. When we definitely give you ideas, help us to implement it so that make it happen. Don't look at, Don't look at the negative side of things that's happening. Look at the positive side. Haiti right now is a rose growing out of concrete. So don't look at all the scratches on the petals, but look at it and say, you know what? This rose is growing from the concrete. So if you take out all this concrete and you give it real soil and you give it some water, I guarantee that you see some positive outcome. We should not forget that Haiti was the richest country in the Western Hemisphere less than 100 years ago. My grandma right now, who's 113 years, celebrating her birthday January 6th. Saw those good days. And I believe that these days could happen again. But you have to trust institutions, smaller organizations like CapraCare, who are in the countryside, who are having their staff who are educated but need the tools, need the resources. Right now, some people should be coming to us and say, you know what, you've been doing this work 4 years. I was born in Fonfouet. So my idea of having CapraCare was in my head as soon as I touched ground here. Because when I came in the United States in 1990, we had all these stigmas going on. I didn't speak English, but what I learned was Haitian, go back home. And I'm not going to use the word that they told me in the 5th grade. But when I learned all those things, I said, yes, we will go back home. But we came here because we want to be educated and have the resources. And that's the reason why CapraCare was made. As soon as I graduated from with my degree in public health, I gathered all my professors who had all this knowledge. I gathered all my friends who are also Haitian who graduated from the same class with me. And these are the people right now who are on our board of directors. These are the people right now who are helping us to build those things. Trust organizations like CapraCare to make those difference. And then we could work with big organizations like Oxford to give us the technical assistance. Then you'll see progress. You'll see progress and you'll see those changes. So that's the magic one, is to give us some real budget, give us some real resources, give us some real tools to make these things happen. So therefore, I can be in Haiti on the ground on a regular basis because I have the skill sets, I have the knowledge, I know the community well enough, and I can gather those leaders and instill trust within to make those changes happen in the country. On
that positive note, I think I will leave it. That's what better way to end than that. Thank you so much for being here, Agathe and Damien. Take care in Port-au-Prince, Jonathan, Jean-Pierre. Wonderful to have you. You can obviously let us know what you think about Haiti. You can leave a comment in the comment well. You can find all kinds of interesting links to articles in the resource well, and the conversation will continue, of course, right here on HuffPost Live.